You're listening to the Productive Therapist Podcast, the world's greatest and most brilliant resource for busy therapists who'd rather be laying on a beach in Hawaii. Each episode is packed with simple tips and inspiring insights from the Productive Therapist team to help you grow your practice and have fun doing it. So without further ado, let's help you get more done and have more fun.
Hello, and welcome back to the Productive Therapist Podcast. My name is Uriah. I'm the head nerd here at Productive Therapist, and I'm thrilled that you're listening. So if you are looking for support services for your private practice, anything from a bookkeeper to an insurance biller to a virtual assistant and more, you should definitely check out our directory. At productivetherapistdirectory.com, you can find a ton of support services for therapists just like you. Now, in this episode, I want to share one of the businesses from the directory, and the following episodes will share other businesses as well. And if this sounds a little bit different to you, it's because I recorded these podcast episodes asynchronously. Basically, I recorded my questions separately, and they recorded their answers separately. I did this because it's kind of a fun way to record a podcast episode, and also, to be honest, it allows me to work less over the summer and do more fun things. In any case, I hope you enjoy these episodes, and you can check out the directory again at productivetherapistdirectory.com. Enjoy. Hi there. Thanks so much for being on the podcast. Can you tell me a little bit about your business and the specific challenges that you solve for therapists?
Oh, there. Yes. Thanks for letting me be on your podcast. So my name is Brent Stutzman. I'm with TheraSaaS CRM. And about 4 years ago, my wife, who's a practice owner, she has about 12 clinicians. We were using a Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet was not cutting it anymore for us. We had 80 people on a wait list. We had all these color coordination, key legend things. Like, it was a very convoluted map with all this client information. So we had 80 people on the wait list. We were getting about 50 to 60 new leads per month. And our intake coordinator was like, Brent, we need to do something about this because this is no longer a viable option for us. And so here's what we were running into. First is client leads are falling through the cracks. Okay, so that's maybe $4,000 to $6,000 a month in potential revenue, just because we couldn't follow up because we didn't know where they were in the process of becoming a client. It was just unclear. You could have all the tabs you want in the world, but people will fall through those cracks because Google Sheets can only take you so far. The other thing was, like, communications with client leads were on different platforms. So we were using Grasshopper for phone. We had email, Gmail, and then like paper and pencil where they would write down information, then we also had the Google Sheet. So there's very little transparency. So if your intake coordinator would go on vacation, it would take a week just for her to prepare Susan, my wife, the practice owner, to go on vacation. Also, there's times we were wondering, like, I wonder if they ever, if an intake coordinator ever got back to that client lead. And as a marketing guy, I had lots of private practices I did marketing for, and I didn't have access into what I call after the conversion or after the click conversion, because my ads were working, but I didn't know what happened after they converted. They filled out that form, and as a lot of practice owners who maybe work with Google Ads or whatever, like, they don't also have a lot of transparency as well. So that was a huge issue. Communications, were client leads being followed up with? When were they being followed up with? Who was following up with them? There's just very little transparency in that. The other thing is, I just didn't have a lot of accurate sales and marketing data to make critical decisions. So at the end of the day, TheraSaaS came along because we needed a more robust follow-up process. So there's this quote, like, the riches are in the niches and the fortunes in the follow-up. And TheraSaaS came about because we needed a better follow-up process. We needed to get all our leads into one place. We needed to have some sort of visual pipeline so they knew the different stages that this client lead was going through, different follow-up stages, insurance verification, all those things. So we needed a place to centralize all our sales and marketing. And that's how TheraSaaS was born. And once we got that in place and we tested on all my marketing clients and got everything HIPAA compliant, client leads were no longer falling through the cracks. Communication with client leads are centralized. So now we got transparency. We have accountability for our intake team. And then we just also have accurate sales metrics and on our sales and marketing data, so we can make those critical decisions. All right. So that's kind of how we got started.
What's the most common mistake you see therapists making, and how do you help them avoid it?
I think there's three kind of big mistakes that therapists or let's say practice owners or intake teams make. The first one is really just all the manual tasks that take place when someone either fills out a form. So what do I mean? Uh, Copy and pasting a name from either a post-it note to a Google Sheet, or then taking that information from a Google Sheet over to an EHR. So it's a lot of manual work switching in between multiple platforms. And what that results in is just wasted productive hours that your practice owners are just paying their intake coordinators to do a lot of manual lifting. And obviously, mistakes can happen and clients can fall through the cracks there. Another mistake I see is, as it relates to that, is just not having a newsletter. So it's really important to build a brand and own and have a newsletter that you have direct access to the potential client leads or existing clients. And with TheraSaaS, that's all built into one place. As a marketer, I love that. They can, when they sign up with using a form, you can automatically add them to your newsletter because that's all built inside TheraSaaS. I think another one is just a big mistake is just not having transparency. So a lot of times we just assume intake coordinators are doing their job well, and there's very little accountability and follow up. And you might have a great intake coordinator, but it's okay for a practice owner to go in and maybe listen to a call. You can do call recordings in TheraSaaS, or just see how the communications are doing. Are they following up in a timely manner? Could they be quicker? Could their tone of voice be faster? I mean, if their tone of voice could be more kind. I've seen a lot of that. So there's a lack of transparency if you don't have a CRM like TheraSaaS, because with TheraSaaS, all those conversations can be in one place and you can quickly access those. I think the other one is for practice owners, just not having real-time accurate data or metrics they can see on the dashboard. So how many new client leads came in this month? How many were converted into paying clients? They're inside the EHR, they've been scheduled. How many downloads they've had of their lead generator or lead magnets. So there's just like critical data around sales and marketing that they have never tracked before. And now TheraSaaS makes that possible, and you can get it instant.
What's one simple thing a therapist could implement this week that would make a real difference in their practice?
I think one simple thing that a therapist can make in their practice, honestly, is just to go to TheraSaaS.com and just look at the videos to see what's possible. Remember, before there was even EHRs, electronic health records, we were using paper and pencils and pens, right? And then an EHR came along, and it just kind of expanded what's our imagination of what's actually possible with electronic health records and how much that simplified. Well, now we're kind of at the beginning cusp of, all right, now we have to actually, practice owners need to take control of their sales and marketing because of all the competition from big tech, big therapy, like BetterHealth and Psychology Today. Like they're just taking all the Google spots in search. And so building a brand has become more important. And so go to TheraSaaS.com and just look at the video, schedule a demo with me, and just see what's possible. Have your intake coordinator on. We'll have the call. Ask all the questions you want, because I think it would potentially save you a lot of headache. It would help you sleep better at night because you have all the transparency you need. Client leads aren't falling through the cracks anymore. So I think that could be a big game changer for practice owners. Come on over and schedule a demo call.
For therapists who are hesitant about investing in the kind of solutions that you provide, what would you want them to know?
I think for therapists who are hesitant in investing in a CRM is we've gotten a ton of feedback on how clients are using the platform or how subscribers are. And two things I think could be helpful for practice owners. One is about 85-90% of the client leads that are closed for practice owners are happening through text messaging. It is such a easy way for someone to be able to communicate with an intake coordinator. It's private. They can, and it's also immediate, and obviously response times are a lot quicker, as we know, than email. I think the other thing that practice owners need to know is that some of the intake coordinators we've talked to, it saves them at least an hour a day in not having to go search for all the client lead information that they might have. Maybe that's in a Google Excel spreadsheet, or maybe that's on Post-it notes and paper, right? Like that's they're just wasting a ton of time. So that quickly adds up to, let's say you pay your intake coordinator 20 hours or $20 an hour, you're saving close to maybe $400 a month. I mean, a program like TheraSaaS is just going to make them way more productive, and you're not going to be paying them to do unproductive work and just trying to find things. And also at the end of the day, I think practice owners sleep a whole lot better at night because they know everything is one place. There's a ton of transparency, and they can have an entire team of people working inside TheraSaaS, whether that's in sales or sending out newsletters or scheduling social media posts. It can do a lot. And I think having everything in one place would be a tremendous help for their practice.
Thanks so much for sharing about your business. Where can listeners find out more about your services and connect with you?
Yeah, if you want to find out more about TheraSaaS CRM, just go to TheraSaaS.com. That's TheraSaaS.com, and schedule a demo. Look at all the videos, see if it's a good fit for you. Because at the end of the day, we want TheraSaaS to solve real problems for you as it relates to sales and marketing. And it will, I think most practice owners could use it, and it will quickly become the hub for your sales and marketing efforts.
That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and hit the subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. If you're looking for more personalized help, you can reach us through productivetherapist.com. Thanks so much for listening. We are Productive Therapist, and this is the podcast that helps therapists get more done and have more fun.